Beijing President Trump will arrive in China on Wednesday backed by campaign trail promises to get tough against the United States' largest trading partner. He will be accompanied by the chiefs of some of the country's most ambitious and influential companies, Boeing, Goldman Sachs, Westinghouse Electric, and Qualcomm, among others. The expected outcome, not much, to the frustration of some American business executives. Trump's meetings this week with Xi Jinping, China's president, and other Chinese leaders come at a difficult time for both countries. Each has been consumed with domestic issues, West Wing infighting, and a special counsel investigation in Washington, a sensitive leadership transition in Beijing. The Trump administration in particular has been stretched thin on trade. It has been slow to fill important trade-related positions, because of distractions and the lengthy congressional confirmation process. The administration has been preoccupied with rewriting the North American Free Trade Agreement and a United States trade deal with South Korea. Trade has also been supplanted by North Korea as the most talked about issue in Northeast Asia for President Trump and an issue on which he wants Chinese cooperation, not confrontation. And with the administration also trying to push tax policy changes through Congress, two top economic officials are not even joining the trip, but staying in Washington, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin and Gary D. Cohn, the director of the National Economic Council. As a result, planning for Trump's Beijing trip has largely focused on finding deals he can announce, like high-profile orders for Boeing jets and other American goods. By contrast, the two sides have engaged in little of the back-and-forth shuttle diplomacy by lower-ranking officials that can pave the way toward new trade agreements. From what I understand, there really hasn't been much of that for this visit, said William Zarrett, the chairman of the American Chamber of Commerce in China, a group that has worked closely with American trade negotiators for decades, which makes us a bit concerned that there may not be much discussion on the structural issues. Chinese and American officials offered a taste on Wednesday, when they disclosed a series of deals they valued at $9 billion ahead of an event planned for Thursday with the two presidents. 1. The sale of 50 Bell helicopters to a Chinese buyer, represented the kind of industrial export that Trump called for during his campaign. But several others were food sales that might do little to strengthen the United States industrial base. Many of the details were not disclosed. The lack of progress on trade issues has led to grumbling among business types. Several financial firms were interested in attending the trip to discuss Chinese restrictions on bank ownership, but they decided to pull back when they learned that the Trump administration was focused on making deals rather than pushing for structural reform, said an industry source who is familiar with the negotiations, who declined to be identified while discussing internal deliberations. Trump administration officials say there has been more preparation on trade issues than meets the eye for the current trip, and they add that they have been laying the groundwork to do more in the coming months.